Welcome to Cars and Questions, the show where we go to car meets and ask dumb questions. It's a windy day here in Dallas today, which is why my microphone looks like a Russian. But we're going to an event called Rides and Paws. It's for a great cause, and there should be a bunch of cool cars, including a Ferrari, a few Audi R8s, a few Nissan GTRs, even a Dodge Viper or two. Let's see what kind of interviews we get.
I love a double the snake. Bitch, stop playing with me. I gotta cut off the leash. Dog and me. Bon appetit. I love a double the snake. Bitch, stop playing with me. I gotta cut off the leash. Dog and me. Go bon appetit. I leveled up on the snake. Bitch, stop playing with me. I gotta cut off the leash. Dog and me. Go bon appetit. I leveled up on the snake. Bitch, stop playing with me. I gotta cut off the leash. Dog and me. Go bon appetit. I leveled up on the snake.
We're here with Sam and his Audi R8. You've only had this a couple of months now,
Yes, sir.
so tell me a little bit more about it, please.
Yes, sir. So it's a 2011 R8 V10. It's the carbon package, so you'll have the carbon on the mirror caps, carbon on the side fenders, as well as carbon on the interior of the car. It's tuned by APR, as well as it has a fast speed exhaust.
Nice. And it looks to be lowered too.
It is lowered on springs, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So those mods were probably done by the previous owner.
For the most part, yeah, those mods were done by Roger.
Okay. And then what are your plans for the car?
So my plans, for the most part, would be the twin turbo of the car. I've
that'd
looked
be fun.
into supercharging it, but I feel
Okay.
like twin turbo would be more fun and the power would be more instant.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like it'd be a good time. I don't drive it too much, so I feel
Okay.
like that would be the best bang for
Yeah.
for me.
So this is kind of your fun car?
Yeah, this is a fun car.
Okay. What's your daily driver?
I daily drive a Tesla Model 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. You're not the first person we've spoken to today who daily drives a Tesla
Oh,
Model 3. So I want to ask you, the Tesla Model 3 has a good amount of power off the line.
Yeah.
How do you like driving that compared to the Audi?
So I have the Model 3 Performance, so it seems a little quicker.
Okay.
But I would say that there's no soul to the car.
That's pretty much the feedback that
Yeah.
a lot of Tesla owners or I guess EV owners are
EVs,
giving.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing compared to the sound of that
No.
raw V10.
Yeah, even though I'm pretty sure off the line it'll probably beat this car.
Yeah.
But the Tesla is not anything in comparison to having the feelings when you're driving the car.
Exactly. Yep. So you're a pretty young guy. You said you're
I'm
28.
28, yes, sir.
So what do you do for a living?
I have a sneaker store in Fort Worth.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
Yes,
man.
sir. I sell sneakers.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about it. So you're a sneakerhead?
Yeah, I like sneakers a lot. I've been doing it for a long time.
Okay.
My store this month will actually make its first year anniversary.
Okay, what's the name of the store?
It's called the Kick Source.
Sweet.
It's at 200 Carroll Street, Suite 160.
There you go.
Texas.
Bill flashed it up on the screen. Don't worry about that. That's
But
really
yeah.
cool. So,
no
yeah, how did you get into sneakers?
It's just been something me and my dad did when I was younger.
Okay.
I was raised by my mom by herself, so he would pick me up, take me to get shoes, and drop
Okay.
me off. And so that's kind of from there. I just continued just getting sneakers on my own. And
Yeah,
spiraled into
nice. So did he get you into cars too?
No. Cars was, I mean, honestly, just watching Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
That was really what it was.
What did you think of the latest Fast and Furious movie?
No comment. I have no comment for that at all.
Oh man. And since we're here at an event called Rides and Paws, I want to ask you, do you have any pets?
Yes, I have a dog. His name is Boss Man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Boss man. Does he run the house?
He used to. He's old now.
Oh,
He doesn't
man.
run anything. He just lays down.
Hey, you know, I just don't know what it is about dogs. They're the best.
Dogs are solid. Cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I know he's old. Cherish the time you have with him.
Most definitely.
We put a dog down yesterday,
Okay.
so
I hate to hear that.
it's okay. He was old and he had cancer, so
Oh.
I'm just telling you now, just cherish every single moment you have with him.
No, most definitely.
Awesome, Sam. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man.
I leveled up on the snake. Bitch, stop playing with me. I gotta cut off the leash. Dog and me gone bon appetit. I leveled up on the snake. Bitch, stop playing with me. I gotta cut off the leash. Dog and me gone bon appetit. I don't know who you thought I was. Stop fucking playing with me.
I'm here with Trevor and his E46 M3. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about the car?
I got this car almost a year ago, a
Okay.
year and a week, and I know I got it with 98,000 miles.
Just put the mic a little closer.
Sorry.
Right?
I got with 98,000 miles, and I'm pushing 109, so I've driven it a lot.
Nice.
I love driving it.
Is this your daily drive?
Amazing. Yes, it's my daily driver. I drive to school every day, and I drive it to practice. I drive it on every weekend.
So we're talking high school or college?
High school.
Nice.
I'm a junior,
Awesome.
so
That's a fun car to have as a
yeah, I know. I had a my first car was a truck that
Okay.
my dad gave to me. It was an old truck, and I did some stuff to it, and I sold it. And then I had money saved up, and I went and got a Porsche 944.
Ooh.
It
nice.
had 35,000 miles on it.
Wow.
It was red when I got it,
Yeah.
and I had that for a while, and I sold it for like double what I paid.
You've done all of this, and you're 17 right
Yeah,
now?
I've been driving for about a year and a half.
Wow.
So I'm kind of older for my grade, but
Okay.
so I've been driving a lot longer. I sold it for like double what I paid
Yeah.
and had enough money to get one of these.
It's
And this
Yeah.
is my childhood dream car. My grandma had one when I was like 3,
wow.
and she sold it, and I was so sad, and I wanted one ever since.
Yeah.
It was so clean. It was low miles, and it
Nice.
was Alpina white.
Yeah. And so is it an auto or a manual?
It's a manual, 6
Nice.
speed.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't get an auto. I love manual.
Yeah.
944
I
was
know.
manual too.
Yeah.
So,
So who or what got you into cars?
my dad got me into cars. He's had plenty of cars over my lifespan.
Okay.
and I don't know. I have pictures of like 6-month-old me, 1-year-old
Yeah.
me sitting in his car, rubbing the mirror. I'd go when I was 2. He had this red 911 964,
wow.
and I would go
That's
out
nice.
there and just touch it
Yeah.
and just sit there and hold it like for an hour. So I've always loved cars.
yeah.
But yeah, and I don't know what drew me to BMWs, but I'm
Okay.
a big BMW guy now.
Yeah. So have you had any maintenance issues though with the car yet?
Rod bearings were replaced when I got it.
Okay.
I checked the
good.
Vanos before I bought. I mean, not the Vanos, the subframe before I bought it, and
Okay.
the subframe's good as of now. I'm gonna get it done soon, but it's not done and it's not cracked.
Okay.
I had a Vanos issue. It wasn't the Vanos though; it was the solenoid.
Okay.
Under the Vanos, the gasket went out and it was leaking. And I did research, and it's like, if you replace that, it makes your Vanos life longer.
Okay. And
I did that.
DIY?
Yeah, I did that myself. And
Awesome.
what other problem? I had an alignment issue. That was just bushings. Other than that, it's been
It's
pretty
just-
solid.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
been amazing.
Awesome. And so you've been driving for a year and a half now. Have
Mhm.
you gotten any tickets yet?
Yeah, I got one ticket. It's actually a crazy story.
Tell me about
I
it.
was
Yeah.
driving down the tollway, or I was going down a road to get to the tollway,
Mhm.
and this truck was in the right lane or middle lane, and the speed limit was like 50, and he was going 30, and so the left lane was crowded. I just got in the right lane and went around him.
Mhm.
I didn't think I went aggressive, but I guess I made him mad. And
Uh-oh.
so he came up on me I was on the highway. He was a couple cars back. I look at my rear view, and he's just aggressively passing cars on the right.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Comes right up my butt, and he gets right behind me, and he's like right next to my bumper.
Mhm.
And so I kind of get on the highway and get moving, and he's chasing me like right on my bumper.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
So then I get in the right lane and I chill out, and then he gets in front of me and just
Brake
brake
checks.
checks the crap out of me down to
God.
like 35. I
Yeah.
almost got rear-ended. So I get in the left lane and rip it, and he's chasing me.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, all right, you're in a truck. I'm about to gap you. So I let it rip, and then I put a gap on him. I was about to take an exit, and there was a cop sitting
Oh,
next to the
no.
exit. I was going like 100. So
And what is the speed limit there?
70. So
Oh.
he got me 30 over. It was
Ooh.
not a good day.
Yeah.
But I'm good now. I had probation for a bit, but I'm good
Okay.
to go now.
That's good.
So
And so last question for you, Trevor. We're at an event called Rides and Paws. So
Yeah.
do you have any dogs? Or
yes, I have a French Bulldog.
Nice.
It's my guy. His
Yeah.
name's Winston.
Awesome.
He's coming up on 9 years old.
Oh,
but
that's
he
cool.
still kicks it.
Yeah.
So
That's good to hear.
I love him. That's my number one.
Love it.
But
So thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
And thanks for showing us the car.
of course,
Awesome. Thanks.
nice to meet you.
Too, man.
Hey, okay, yeah. I leveled up on the sneak. Bitch, stop playing with me. I gotta cut out the leash. Dog and me gon' bon appetit. I leveled up on the sneak. Bitch, stop playing with me. I gotta cut out the leash. Dog and me gon' bon appetit.
I'm with Daniel and his Lotus Evora. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about the car?
Yeah, so it's a 2011 Lotus Evora S, so it's supercharged. They make
Nice.
the NA version of this as well,
Okay.
which is slightly more affordable. The S is a little bit more expensive, but
Okay.
this one is laser blue, so it's actually a kind of a really nice blue. It has like a pearl in it.
Yeah.
I really like
It's very nice.
They don't make a lot of these pearlescent paints anymore.
Uh-huh.
They're all flat now from the factory. So like these older 2011 to like 2015, they made these kind of pearl paints, which I like a lot more.
Yeah.
It's got the gold wheels, which I powder coated myself. What they were before was like a two-tone black and like machine face.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But they were all dinged up from the previous owner. So I just
Gotcha. Yeah.
took it to a unit F14, local powder company, and
Yes.
had them powder coat them for me. It does have a BOE revision 4 supercharger, bigger supercharger from aftermarket.
That's pretty cool.
BOE's based out of California.
And how much power do you think it's putting out?
This is putting about 400 to the ground based on
Wow.
the dyno.
That's really cool. It's a pretty light car too,
Yep.
so it must be a little bit of a rocket ship.
It is a little bit less than 3,000 pounds.
Wow.
So like 1,500 kilo.
Okay.
Or whatever the math is there.
Yeah.
These are a little bit heavier, so they do have the smaller Elise and Exige
Yes.
from Lotus.
Mhm.
Those are like right around 2,000 pounds, and those are like have a crazy power to weight ratio. But these are still, pretty good. So Lotus is lightness. Simplification through like making the car as
Exactly.
light as possible.
Yeah.
So,
Simplify and add lightness
simplifying
is
and
the
lightness, yeah.
is the way you
Thank
put it.
But yeah, it has the kind of oyster or kind of beige two-tone interior, which
Okay.
is kind of, I never was a fan of that. I always kind of like black interiors.
Uh-huh.
But after having this, like all my cars going forward are now gonna have like a beige or some kind of
Nice.
two-tone interior now.
And is this your first fun car?
No, I've had a couple other fun cars. I've had a Chrysler Crossfire SRT6.
Nice.
Was my probably fanciest car before this one, and then
Basically a Mercedes.
yeah, it's actually made in Germany. Same line as the CLK 32 or whatever
Yes.
it is.
Yeah.
And then that was back when Daimler Chrysler was a company.
Exactly.
When Chrysler was owned by Daimler, now it's owned by Fiat, so they
Mhm.
don't make anything nice anymore.
Not at all.
And then I owned a Neon SRT4. I wouldn't call that nice, but that was my
It's a fun car.
yeah. And I've owned a Miata, MA Miata or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The first generation Miata with
With the
pop-up.
pop-ups.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But this is probably the nicest car for sure that I've owned.
Awesome. And so what's your daily driver then?
I have a Tesla Model 3
Oh,
that,
nice.
I daily.
Okay. How long you had that?
I've had that. I bought that in 2020, right before the pandemic happened.
Okay.
And then I proceeded not to use it at all.
Oh.
I converted to work
from home. Yeah.
And so the whole idea of an electric car is I had a long commute and I was gonna whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of boring though. So like
Really?
the fast car
Okay.
in a straight line.
Yeah.
But it has no soul. So like, it doesn't bring
gotcha.
you happiness.
Yeah.
This car with like its burbles and
Yeah.
it's a manual as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. It like burbles and it just it rumbles and makes noise. And
Nice.
it's just fun to roll the gears.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
It's maybe not as fast as the Model 3. I actually just got walked by a GT Mustang the other
Oh,
day.
you kidding?
So it's not super fast in a straight line. That's not what.
But it's a
meant
lot
to
of fun, and
Yeah.
that's what counts, right?
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah, I love it.
Awesome. And so you're a Formula One fan?
I'm kind of like one of those Drive to Survive converted
Yeah,
fans.
nothing
I
wrong with
really
that.
wasn't a fan until like Netflix did the
Yeah.
thing. But
Nothing wrong.
yeah, I was always a fan of. I started watching Max Verstappen. He was the guy I watched
Okay.
before he started winning everything.
Yeah.
Now that he's winning everything,
It's
I'm
gotten
like,
a little boring, hasn't it?
now I'm like, man, I don't want that another hero to show up,
Mhm.
take over. But
Yeah.
yeah, the Red Bull dominating the last 2 years, and then the winning the previous year kind of
It's been a little boring.
took the fun out of it a little
Yeah.
bit. So actually, the race tonight, if I don't know if you're not going to spoil it for me, but there
I
was
did
a
kind of
race.
spoil what happened.
Third and fourth.
Yeah, I did kind of spoil what
Yeah.
happened on my team, McLaren. So
Oh.
sorry about that.
McLaren. Yeah, let's talk about that. Like, there's a bunch of different British auto manufacturers that I didn't know about until
Mhm.
I bought this car.
Yes.
And then you get into the whole world of British auto manufacturers like McLaren,
Yeah.
Aston Martin, right? Like, MG,
MG's a good one
Triumph.
too. Yeah.
Noble is another kind of niche manufacturer that makes low production vehicles.
So speaking of niche
Yeah.
manufacturers, though, the one downside to them is maintenance and perhaps maintenance
Yeah.
costs.
So-
So have you had any kind of
Yeah,
experiences
so
with that?
there's two options in our area. I don't know if is it okay if I mention them by name. It kind of
Oh
gets
yeah,
away
yeah.
from your-
I
Okay,
did.
okay.
Yeah.
There's Earth Motor Cars, which is the local dealership, and they actually service Evora's up.
Okay.
So if you have an Elise or an Esquisse or an Esprit or
They
something
won't-
like that, they won't
Okay.
service those older vehicles. They don't have the tooling for it.
Yeah.
If you want those older vehicle service, and they'll service the Evoras as well, they
Mhm.
have the Dallas Sports Car World.
Okay.
And they specialize in maintenance for Lotus vehicles.
Okay.
And Derek is the sales guy. Garen's the mechanic for the Evoras, and they have another mechanic for some of
Nice.
their vehicles.
Is that where you work?
No, I don't work there.
Oh, okay.
But I do drop this off on occasion because
Okay.
these cars do have a lot of maintenance needs that
You sound like you're familiar with their
very
staff,
familiar
so-
with them because this breaks probably once every couple of months. So
Oh,
I have to
no.
go
Yeah.
either flatbed it or limp it up to their
What's the kind of issues
Shop.
that cause it to break?
So some oil sending units. So this is a Toyota
Engine?
2GR FE from the Camry.
Mhm.
And what Lotus did is they just put a big supercharger and a tune on it.
Yeah.
Some of the downsides of that is I don't know if the motor was meant to have boost in it initially. So you'll get some weird things where
Okay.
like the oil pressure sending units for the VVTi
Ah,
will clog up and go bad, and then you'll go into a misfire where half the cylinders. So in my case, bank 2, which is
Okay.
the cylinders 1, 3, or no 2, whatever. The
Yeah.
bank 2. So only 3 of the 6 cylinders were firing. And I took it up there, and they diagnosed it, and they said, "Oh, it might be a timing issue, so we might have to do a timing service on it."
oh.
And do a
okay.
timing service on this, or to do any major service.
the
on it,
engine out?
Engine comes out.
Ah,
So you're talking about $10,000 worth of maintenance.
minimum, yeah.
But in this case, they're like, hey, they have this where all the mechanics kind of put in what they did to fix it.
Mhm.
And like the third option was there's an oil pressure sending unit on the top
Gotcha.
of the motor. So like just a little.
And you
you know,
do an aftermarket
yeah.
version of that?
Well, no, you just get one from Toyota. Toyota still sells parts for
Oh,
these cars.
perfect.
right?
Okay.
So it's like a $20 part from Toyota.
Yeah.
Slapped it on there.
Nice.
Just try that out before they do an engine out service, and it ended up working.
Oh,
So,
that's good.
the most expensive part of that was the flatbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actual repair for that wasn't too bad. The other thing that this thing has is the master cylinder for the clutch
Okay.
is like a plastic cylinder from the
Ah.
factory,
Gotcha.
and those go bad. So most recently, that one went bad. They have to take this clamp off.
Mhm.
This doesn't open, by the way. This is,
Oh, really?
This is all, yeah. The only
Is
thing
it? It's just this little section that
the
opens.
section that's open. So the rest of it,
Why does it even open then?
because the
Washer
refill for
fluid?
the washer fluid
Yeah.
and the refill for the brake and clutch fluid is
Gotcha.
right there. And then there's a cabin air filter as well in that,
Okay.
in that little thing. But the master cylinder went bad. So yeah, clam off, change the master cylinder. So that's pretty common on these.
Okay,
Every 25,000 miles, you have to replace the master cylinder.
that's not too bad.
Which, that's sort of expensive, but that's every couple years.
Yeah.
Made a minor, I would say minor service, because it doesn't take very much to take the clam off. There's like
Yeah,
4 bolts and then another 3 or 4 bolts, and then it comes off.
yeah, that's not bad at all. And so last question for you, since we're at an event called Rides and Paws, I want to
Yeah.
ask you: do you have any pets of your own?
Yeah, so I have a 12-year-old Karen Terrier
Okay.
mix
Nice.
that we actually adopted from the Seattle Humane Society up in Washington State.
Awesome.
And then that was I lived up there for a while
Yeah.
before we adopted him. And yeah, he's getting old.
Yeah.
He's a great dog. His name's Sparky. He's black. He's a black dog.
That's a cute name.
He was very dirty and gross and matted when we first met him.
Yeah.
But I saw the potential. So there's a lot of dogs up here. They look sad. They bark at you.
I know.
You just
wanna take all of them.
give them a chance. Go adopt a dog for sure.
That's a great message, Daniel. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your time.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It's nice meeting you.
You too. Awesome.
It's nice meeting you.
You too. Your name is Daniel,
Yeah.
right? I for a second I was like, shit, I fucked that up.
Yeah. Hopefully that wasn't too much.
No, that was awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.